So as we look to race 21, the last of the third leg rides, we know that sitting in the pit box, John Halsey and Jason Glen, you would have seen Gary Jackson keep the pressure on. They got the maximum, they got maximum points from 3 rides. Up against them in this one, we've got Rob Bradley and Ann Holmes, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. Rob has had a first and a second. Sean Conway Baker, Alan and John Blewitt and John Hiscock. Now, we've seen some very good starts from the outside. John Halsey on the outside, Rob Wilson looks to have made the best of the starts. Alan and John Blewitt have made a better one. So it's Alan and John Blewitt that have got into the first turn, but John Halsey won his way through second. Alan and John Blewitt in third, John Hiscock in fourth. Moment. That's how they go into that top turn. It all closes up a little bit, but John Halsey and Jason Glennie get away. Rob Wilson and Tony Miles still there in second. Alan and John Blewitt in third. John Hiscock looks as if he wants to make a challenge on that third place. A little bit going up the back straight, makes it comfortable into the top turn. Down past us they go for the second time. Still the order stays the same. I'm sure there's going to be a challenge for that third place. John Hiscock looks to be getting closer and closer. It's not all over yet. The problem is up into the top end. John Halsey and Jason Glennie try to keep it on the safest and fastest line. Rob Wilson will have to work hard on the outside, I think, coming out of that bottom turn if he's going to make a challenge. Might have done enough if he comes off that top bend, down towards the checkered flag this time. He takes another win. Rob Wilson and Tony Miles take second. Another good ride from Alan and John Blewitt in third. Race 21 then, sponsored by Abingdon Beds. Another win for outfit number 13. That of course is John Halsey and Jason Glennie. 3 rides, 3 wins. In second place, number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. In third place, number 3, Alan and John Blewitt. In fourth place, number 184, John Hiscock and Jason Gill. In fifth place, number 87, Rob Bradley and Ann Holmes. In sixth place, number 71, Sean Conway Baker and Shane Woodley. The winning time, 132.61, 132.61. Look as if Paul Harry's made the best of the starts. Into the first turn they go. Paul Harry leading. Vince Kinchin up there in second. Matt Reid I can see on the inside. Trevor Banks on the outside and Trevor Banks with Matt Reid for that third. But Paul Harry is getting... He started to lose a few points on the top runners, but he'll certainly want to be there in the fight towards the end. Definitely trying to hold on to that third spot. Going after Trevor Banks, in fact, as he's making sure he stays ahead of Matt Reid. He, in fact, has realised now that he's got a chance of getting second and goes through into second. No, Trevor Banks comes back at it. Trevor Banks one more lap to go for Paul Harry. He's in fact had 1 win already this afternoon, Paul Harry. But still that scrap goes on for second, third and fourth. Trevor Banks just in second. Second flag goes Trevor Banks go to? Well, Trevor Banks slowed coming out of that bottom turn. It means that Vince Kinchin and Matt Reed move up a place. So, race 22, the first of the fourth leg rides, and the first winner is number 86, Paul Hurry. In second place, number 152, Matt Reed. In third place, number 18, Ricky Scarborough. I do apologise, what have I done that for? It should be number 8. In second place, I've missed out. My apologies, let's start that one again. A win for number 86, Paul Hurry. In second is number 8, Vince Kinchin. In third is 152, Matt Reed. In fourth is 18, Ricky Scarborough. In fifth is 12, that's Trevor Banks. And sixth place, number 71, Darren Pugh. Seventh place, 110, Dave Rumsey. Eighth place, number 7. And the winning time, 125.61. Well, I got the time right. 125.61. The result, 86, 8, 152, 18, 12, 71, 110, and 7. So race 23, and what an interesting one this turns out to be. We've got Scott Nicholls, number 66. Look for him, look for the white helmet of Scott Nicholls. We've also got Joe Screen, number 17. He's on 28 points with 2 wins and a second. Jeremy Doncaster's been having some good rides this afternoon, 2 seconds and a fourth. Who's made the best of the starts? Joe Screen on the inside. It's Scott Nicholls on the outside though, and Scott Nicholls goes through and gets himself to the front. Joe Screen now has got the chase on. Scott Nicholls. He's getting away from Joe Screen as they come up past me. Joe Screen in second, Jeremy Doncaster in third. Good ride from Mitch Godden in fourth. He looks to have got himself a machinery sorted out after some very poor results. Easy going to be the surprise package for the 1999 British Masters. He leads Joe Screen, certainly one of the riders that was tipped to do it this afternoon after that tremendous win at the Barracks Bonanza earlier in the year. Considerable gap between him and Joe Screen. Between Joe and Jeremy Doncaster. One more lap to go for Scott Nicholls. This will keep the pressure on Kelvin Tatum because Scott Nicholls is still on a maximum. Disaster for Mitch Godden as he comes off on the far side. Problems as we go to the Cheshire flag, and it is a win for Scott Nicholls. Joe Screen takes second, Jeremy Doncaster crossing the line in third. So, as Mitch Godden got his machinery going again, gets across the line. Let's give you the official result of race 23. This one sponsored by Faulkner's Motorcycles of Oxford. A win for number 66. He's getting used to it, isn't he? That's 4 rides and 4 wins for, of course, Scott Nicholls. In second place, number 17, Joe Screen. In third, number 6, Jeremy Doncaster. In fourth, number 111, that's our reserve coming in, Paul Cooper. In fifth place, number 170, Mark Taylor. And in sixth place, number 34, Steve Bishop. Seventh place, as you saw just crossing the line then, number 19, Mitch Godden. 123.44 was the winning time. So, can Steve Schofield keep the pressure on? Can he still keep himself in the running? that first turn. Steve Schofield has got to the front. Oh, they very, very tight in the middle of that bend. Into that bottom turn. Steve Schofield leading then as they come past me. Tony Atkin on the inside, John Underwood on the outside, Phil Ambrose in fourth spot at the moment. That's how they go into that top turn. John Underwood has made the best of the entrances into that top bend. He gets himself into second. Looking to do exactly what he needs to do to keep the pressure on the front runners. He needs a win here. Into that top turn they go, and Steve Schofield still holding the lead, but John Underwood is starting to get close. Is John Underwood? One more lap to go for Steve Schofield to hold it. John Underwood still getting closer and closer. Tony Atkins still in third, Phil Ambrose in fourth at the moment. Glen Phillips having a little battle of his own with Phil Ashcroft back there. To get the win, he comes towards the line. That's his second win of the afternoon, or indeed third win I should say of the afternoon. He keeps the pressure on. So race 24 then, sponsored by New Track, a win for rider number 3, Steve Schofield. In second place, number 77, John Underwood. In third place, number 10, that's Tony Atkin. In fourth place, number 50, Phil Ambrose. In fifth place, number 42, Glen Phillips. Sixth place, 83, Phil Ashcroft. Seventh place, 26, Mark Giles. Eighth place, number 11, John Priest. And the winning time, 1:26.91. So as we look to race 25, this is the fourth ride for all these competitors. Here's Kelvin Tatum on the outside, cuts across, and indeed got on the inside eventually of Paul Fry as they went into that first turn. So tremendously. Leading from the front as he comes around past me. Jason Handley up in second, Paul Fry in third, Simon Davey in fourth at the moment. But it really is all about being at the front. They know that it's point scoring. Will of course meet in the final if they don't in the semis. Now Jason Handley still there in second place. Paul Fry holding a good third. Remember, Paul is the clubman champion, so by winning his way through. The last lap. Kelvin Tatum looks over his shoulder. This will be exactly what he wanted from this fourth ride. Jason Handley can do nothing about it at the moment. He's sitting in a very comfortable second place. That bottom turn. The checker flag goes for Kelvin Tatum. That's number 4 this afternoon. Jason Handley gets second, and although it gets a little bit closer on the line, Paul Fry takes third. Race 25, sponsored by Antig, this one. A win for rider number 1. That keeps the maximum points for of course, Kelvin Tatum. In second place, number 95, Jason Handley. In third place, number 55, Paul Fry. In fourth place, number 33, Simon Davey. In fifth place, number 23, Wayne Barrett. In sixth place, number 21, Tommy Palmer. Seventh place, 22, Tony Stark. And eighth place, number 74, Scott Wilson. 125.91 was the winning time, 125.91. But the situation with the sidecar competition is that number 23, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh are on 21 points, 3 rides, 3 wins. Number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie, 3 rides and 3 wins. And if you've had a quick scan of these heats, you'll quickly notice that in race 27, the 2 of them go against each other. But for the moment, we look at race 26 because Ivor Matthews and Rob Wilson are both right up there. Ivor Matthews on 19 points, Rob Wilson on 17 points. So they know that they could pick up maximum points here. Gary Jackson or John Halsey are going to take points off each other in the next heat. So this is an important one for Ivor Matthews and Rob Wilson. Oh, somebody's touching the tapes. The starter not happy with that. They let them go. It is Ivor Matthews on the inside, Rob Wilson on the outside. Those 2 have got away. And as they go into that first turn, it's Rob Wilson that's got the rest of it. Into the top turn they go, as I can see Mick Turrell going in very, very quickly as the battle's developing for that third place. But the lead at the moment with Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. Rob Winterburn it is that's got that third at the moment. Woodley, but off the top bend they come and it's Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. They want the maximum points. I think this could be a very important heat, remembering that the 2 crews come together on to them at the moment. They come off that top turn into the last lap. Ron Winterburn still holding that third. Richard Thomas, although he's got close, has not been able to offer any challenge for that third place. Being made ready. It's going to be maximum points and another heat win for Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall will have to be content with second, and Rob Winterburn gets the third just in front of Richard Thomas. Race 26 then, the first of the 4th day rides for the sidecars, and exactly what the crew of Rob Wilson and Tony Miles wanted. It's a win for outfit number 24. In second place, number 15, Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall. In third place, number 148, Rob Winterburn and Chris Winterburn. In fourth place, number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. In fifth place, 62, Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby. In sixth place, number 71, Sean Conway Baker and Shane Woodley. 132.56 was the winning time, 132.56, as we now move to race 27, sponsored by Diamond H Transport, and what a race it promises to be. Both Gary Jackson and John Halsey have had 3 rides, they've had 3 wins. They go together on gates, would you believe, 1 and 2. They're both right on the inside. Next to them, they've got in grid 3, Kenny Hammill and John Richards. In 4, Andy Simons and Sean Yates. In 5, Dave Steer and Simon Beanie. And in 6, John Hiscock and Jason Gill. So the revs start to go up, the tapes go up. Who's made the best of the starts? Gary Jackson looks to have made a good one. John Halsey has slightly missed the start as they go into that first turn, and neither of them have made it to the front. Gary Jackson tries to get through for second. John Halsey trying to stay in contention with Gary Jackson, gets through into third place. The two of them together as they go into that bottom turn. It's still Kenny Hammill and John and Tom Richards. This will make it even more important for Rob Wilson as he had a win in that last heat, because he's sure he couldn't have believed that they were both going to have points taken off them in this heat, as Kenny Hammill and John cuts in back on the inside of that bend, going very, very quickly down this finishing straight. He's right on the back wheel of Gary Jackson. There could be a change of the We thought perhaps it was going to be a two-horse race, but Kenny Hammill has done it. Gary Jackson gets second, John Halsey gets third, John Hiscock in fourth. What on earth does that do to the points? Well, the result of race 27, sponsored by Diamond H Transport, a win. Brilliant ride from the outfit of number 11, Kenny Hammill and John Richards. In second place, number 23, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. In third place, number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. In fourth place, number 184, John Hiscock and Jason Gill. In fifth place, number 93, Andy Simons and Sean Yates. Sixth place there, number 17, Dave Steer and Simon Beanie. 133.19, 133.19. So as it's all started to get very, very tight at the top of the sidecar competition, we now look at race 28, the last of the fourth leg rides. Getting faster as the day's gone on, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. They're on 12 points from 3 rides. Could do with another good one here. Alan and John Blewitt, we've seen having some great starts this afternoon. Duncan, Tolhurst and Colin Hill on 11 points. Oh, the starter not happy with that one. Alan and John Blewitt thought they were going to get away. Again they pushed the tape. The starter not happy with them at all. And unfortunately, I think the clutch of Craig Cheatham, not wanting to be held that long on the start line, he didn't even let that clutch go. The bike just drove itself through the tapes. Oh, we watch the tapes go this time. They go quickly this time as they get underway. Alan and John Blewitt, in fact, have made the best of the starts as they go into that bottom turn. They've got themselves in front. Top turn is all getting very close at the back of the field, but it is Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves that have got in front of Alan and John Blewitt. Duncan Tolhurst trying to follow him through as well as he goes up into second place. It's all very tight on that far side. Oh, it will indeed be a red flag. Obviously we've got outfits on the far side.
Okay, buddy. Okay, mate. All right. Okay. Okay. Cheers, mate. Bye.
Roger, can I have a task, please?
Well, I can see obviously there are quite a few people moving across the circuit. On behalf of the club officials, can I ask you please, if you're not directly involved, on the medical staff or the officials of the meeting, can you please remain back behind the ropes? There are professional staff over there dealing with the situation, so please, all of you that are rushing across there, please can you get back in the pits? Now, while indeed obviously we've got people on the circuit, the point scorers have given me the qualifiers for the solo semi-final. So if you'd like to turn your programmes over to page 25, because we will be going into an interval after this race has been rerun. And the first semi-final for the solo competition is race 29 in your programme. So let's give you the names and numbers of the qualifiers. In the first semi, we've got maximum point scorer number 66, Scott Nicholls. Joining him in that first semi is number 3, Steve Schofield. Number 17, Joe Screen. Number 95, Jason Handley. Number 77, that's John Underwood. Number 8, Vince Kinchin. Number 33, Simon Davey. The last place is taken by number 10, Tony Atkin. So that's your 8 qualifiers for the first semi-final. That's Jerry Lane. John Lightfoot is here at club chairman, and we've got the ACU representatives, which if they're all here, if Rob has turned up now, I can't see him, but to my right we've got Tony, we've got Mr. Tony Noel, of course, Chris Maidment, Rob Smith should have been here, Dickie Staff, Roger Mesa and Peter Gregory. They are the Grasstrack ACU Racing Committee. Very, very pleased that everybody has come out here. And the reason that you're all here is, I mentioned earlier on, that articles I've read talk about things like a legend. I don't think there's anything else that can describe something like this as being any more than a legend. He now indeed has joined us, but I'm sure that all of you around the circuit will appreciate the sort of applause that you're getting over here, because I've just been joined by Simon, Charlie, Abigail and Ricky. And John, I think you're the first person who wants to say a few words. I won't steal all the limelight, but you're going to have to struggle with these microphones.
Got to hold a pair, have I, Jim? Well, I'd just like to say, Simon, I've known you since you started. If Charlie would just close her ears a minute, I remember you nicked your first girlfriend's VW van to come and ride in a Barracks Bonanza, and I also know that your first national was a Barracks Bonanza back in a very wet day at Drayton. And you and I have had some conversations about Grasstrack over perhaps 30 years, and some of them we've got a bit heated, the wires have got hot, and it's been hot to hold the telephone. But I've always admired you, Simon, and from the club which you've been closely to all over the years in your racing career. We're proud to have known you, and have a good time down under. Thank you, Simon.
Thanks very much indeed, John. Obviously, I said there was a few people who wanted to have a word, and to my right, a man that's been involved in the sort of job I'm doing now for many, many years, Mr. Tony Noel.
You got too good for me, Jim. That's why I retired. Ladies and gentlemen, as someone who has the pleasure of going abroad and have done to watch track racing all over Europe in the past few years, I've always become conscious of the respect which is there for Simon. He's always been a tremendous performer. We know all about those World Championships, but it's as a person, and as a way he behaves, and as a way he represents his country, which is the thing of which he should be most proud. He's been a tremendous competitor. He's always trying hard, he's always given of his best, and I'm sure not only in Britain but right across Europe we'll miss you, Simon, and we wish you and your family a really happy time in Australia, and keep that suntan going.
So I was just wondering whether this man wanted to have a few words or not. Are you just going to do the presentation?
Well, Simon, I've also known you a long time, and on behalf of the club and everyone here and all the Grasstrack fraternity, all the best in Oz, and a little something from the club to you.
and Charlie. They've been giving me a microphone. The most I've spoken to you in the past, I would say, is nothing to do with Grasstrack, but very much into carpets. Yeah, we've been on the carpet many times.
Not together, actually.
Not together, no. No, she's been a good customer, actually. Very good customer, Maze. So on behalf of the club and everyone here, Charlie, a little something for you.
And I'm very pleased to see that the kids haven't been forgotten either. John's got in his hands something for Abigail and Ricky, so they're not going to be forgotten as well. And I'm pleased to see that they're Miles as well. Well done, John. That's it, all the photographs are taken. Now comes the horrible bit, Simon. I'm going to have to try and have a few words with you because lots and lots of people around here have been around Grasstrack for a long, long time. I could go over the records over and over again, but we all know what a great competitor you've been and what you've given to this sport. Disappointing that you're going to be disappearing from the country. Are you as disappointed as we are?
Well, of course. I mean, especially get a day like today when there's so many friends and so many nice people that I've been involved with in the sport for such a long time. Yeah, it's very sad in many ways, but as a family, it's time to get on and do something else. And unfortunately, with what's happened to me with my health side of things, it'll be just about impossible for me to ride again. So it's just the next stage in life itself. So it's really. I've adored Queensland and been very keen on that when I first went over there as a youngster. So I think one day I was going to go to Australia to live, and it's just sort of happened very early without planning it. And if we go there and we don't like it, we'll be on the first plane back. I can tell you that. But with the family and of course the racing sort of stopped the way it has. It's like I said, it's just time to get on and try and do the next thing in life. So it's very sad on a day like today, as I said earlier, to see so many great friends, and but it is cold here in the winter, so it's time to go, I'm afraid.
Well, obviously, I think you know from what's happened this afternoon that you're going to be going with a lot of memories behind you. Obviously, a lot of people here remember the great star that you were. I'm not going to try and embarrass you anymore and pull it along any further, but what I will say is obviously you know that everybody here this afternoon agrees with what has been put in the press. You are indeed, Simon Wigg, a legend in your own lifetime. Simon and family moving around on the far side. Thank you very much. So 3 outfits only, but all 3 of them know that if they can get points here, it may get them a chance to run in the semi-finals. Valuable to get as many points as they possibly can, finish as high up the leaderboard as they possibly can this afternoon. It does have a bearing on the competition next year. Oh, away we go. Colin Blackbourn in fact stalling on the line, so we're down to 2 outfits only, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. Alan and John Blewitt. It's Tim that's just got the edge going around that first turn. Alan and John Blewitt starts to pull away. As he started very, very sluggishly this afternoon, he's got faster and faster. He's gone on, almost locks it up on that top turn. Alan and John Blewitt go very, very wide. And as they come down past me, completing 1 lap, Colin Blackbourn knows that by keeping going, he will get credited with the 3rd place. Bennett and Steve Hargreaves go for another win. Maximum points available to them here. Over. Alan and John Blewitt still trying to stay in contention with them. Into the pit turn they go for the 2nd time. Hang on to these maximum points. We'll quickly be calculating the points for the semi-finals. Remind you, in both competitions, points all the way through today. So when I run through the semi-finalists, I will give you what points they've got so far, so an idea of what's happening. Get maximum points in his last qualifying ride. He comes off that top turn looking very comfortable indeed. So the checker flag being made ready. Steve Hargreaves take a win in their 4th qualifying ride. Race 28 then, the last of the qualifying leg rides. A win for outfit number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. In 2nd place, number 3, Alan and John Blewitt. And in 3rd place, number 25, Colin Blackbourn and Carl Blythe. We now go over the page and we move to the first semi-final for the solo competitors. If you didn't take the numbers down earlier on, let's give them to you again, because we've got going in the first semi-final, sponsored by Faulkner's Motorcycles of Oxford, number 66, Scott Nicholls, who sits at the moment on maximum 40 points. In 2nd place, right, the 2nd qualifier on 38 points is number 3, Steve Schofield. They're joined by number 17, Joe Screen on 36 points. Number 95, Jason Handley on 28 points. Number 77, John Underwood, 26 points. Number 8, Vince Kinchin, 25 points. Number 33, Simon Davey, 19 points. And number 10, Tony Atkin on 17 points. For a 2nd, 6th for a 3rd, it then goes 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Scott Nicholls with a 2-point advantage over Steve Schofield on 40 points. Steve Schofield on 38, Joe Screen on 36. Oh, the highest point scorer being allowed first choice of gate. And I'm interested to see that Scott Nicholls has chosen about the 3rd gate in from the inside. Joe Screen, in the same sense, has gone right next to him. Screen has made an absolute flyer. It's Joe Screen that dives into that first turn in the lead of Scott Nicholls in 2nd place. We've got problems with 4 riders on that first end, so I'm expecting to see a red flag. It will all be brought to a halt. Oh, Joe Screen has now seen it. Scott Nicholls has now seen the red flag. They slow down. And unfortunately, we lost 2 riders on that first turn, so they will be coming back to the start line to once again do it all again. Where we keep an eye on maximum point scorer, Scott Nicholls. He's out rider number 66. He goes with Joe Screen, Steve Schofield. Those are the biggest threat to him. It's Scott Nicholls this time that's made the break. Joe Screen goes after him. John Underwood I can see in there as well. Steve Schofield on the outside, and it's John Underwood that's gone down. John Underwood has gone down. We continue with the race because we've got Scott Nicholls out in front again. Joe Screen in 2nd, Steve Schofield in 3rd, Vince Kinchin in 4th at the moment. That's how they go into the top end, but Scott Nicholls really has looked to be in 3rd at the moment. Chases down that bottom corner. Scott Nicholls away, Joe Screen chases after him. Steve Schofield still there in 3rd place, but it really is Scott Nicholls that's brought something to this. Scott Nicholls is out. Scott Nicholls slows on the bottom corner. Joe Screen picks the wheel up in front of us. Oh, very, very disappointing for Scott Nicholls. You see, he's still got the chain on the machine, so it's something a little bit more serious. Scott Nicholls. But as they come towards the checkered flag, it's maximum points for Joe Screen. Steve Schofield gets 2nd. Into third place comes Simon Davey, Vince Kinchin in fourth, but what a disappointment in the first semi-final. Devastating for Scott Nicholls. So it's maximum points for Joe Screen in the first semi-final. Race 29 in your programme, sponsored by Faulkner's Motorcycles. A win for number 17, Joe Screen, a maximum 10 points. In second place, number 3, Steve Schofield. In third place, number 33, that's Simon Davey. In fourth place, number 8, Vince Kinchin. Fifth place, number 10, Tony Atkin. Sixth place, number 77, John Underwood. The winning time, 128.79, 128.79, 17, 3, 33, 8, 10 and 77, 128.79. So we now turn our attention to the second semi-final. They've been sitting in the pit box watching what happened in the first semi. Kelvin Tatum will now know that he has a chance of really putting the pressure on. He goes in this one starting on 40 points. Maximum points scored through the heats. He's joined by 86 Paul Hurry on 36 points. Number 12 Trevor Banks on 28 points. Number 6 Jeremy Doncaster on 27. Number 55 Paul Fry on 26. Number 19 Mitch Godden on 20. 152 Matt Reed on 18. And 50 Phil Ambrose on 17 points. As we saw with the first semi, the maximum point scorers get first choice of gate. Kelvin Tatum looks to have gone for a similar gate to Scott Nicholls. Paul Hurry, he's gone alongside him. So the last of the riders now choosing their positions on this start line. I'm sure all the pit crews are adding the points as they go through. As they get away, it is Kelvin Tatum that's got to the front. Into that first turn they go. It's Kelvin Tatum that leads coming around that first turn, but it's not going all his own way. Paul Hurry is right there with him. For the first time, and Kelvin Tatum is exactly where he wants to be, but Paul Hurry is right there with him. Trevor Banks in second place. Matt Reed is up in third place, and Mitch Godden in fourth. Terrific ride from Matt Reed at the moment, but Paul Hurry is trying everything he knows to go forward. Out round the outside he goes to keep the speed on. That should mean that he'll have a wide entrance into this top bend. He's very quick in the middle of the bend. He knows he's catching Kelvin Tatum on that top turn. But those two have got away from Trevor Banks. Matt Reed comes underneath him again, and really is a great scrap that's going on between those two. Trevor Banks looks over his shoulder. He knows he's got two riders closing in on him. He holds third place at the moment, but still the battle's not won for Kelvin Tatum. He knows Paul Hurry. Kelvin Tatum locks it up. Has Paul Hurry been able to do enough? No, he hasn't. Kelvin Tatum takes the win. He keeps the maximum points. And Paul Hurry has to now look at the point situation. He should be going in the final, but there's a lot of riders got to beat Kelvin Tatum before he has a chance of winning the Masters. The second semi-final. This one sponsored by McSermon Motorcycles. Race 30 in your programme. It's a win and another lot of maximum points for Kelvin Tatum. In second place, number 86, Paul Hurry. He picks up 8 points for his second place. In third place, number 12, that of course is Trevor Banks. In fourth place, number 152, Matt Reed. In fifth place, number 19, Mitch Godden. In sixth place, number 6, Jeremy Doncaster. In 7th place, number 55, Paul Fry. And in 8th place, number 50, Phil Ambrose. 127.15 was the winning time, 127.15. Semi-final, we've got number 23, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh on 26 points. Number 15 is Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall, just 2 points behind them on 24 points. Number 12, Tim Bennett, Steve Hargreaves on 19 points. Number 3, Alan and John Blewitt on 15 points. Number 25, Colin Blackbourn and Carl Blythe on 14 points. Number 184, John Hiscock and Jason Gill on 12 points. That is the make-up for the first semi-final. Remind you, it's 7 points for a win, 5 for a second, 4 for a third, 3, 2 and 1. So as you saw with the solos, it's the top point scorer coming into the semi-final that gets first choice of gate. That is Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. And walking across there for the presentation to Simon Wigg, I must admit, you probably can't see it from the far side of the circuit, but there really are some very, very big holes that have been dug by the sidecar starts. Now the difficulty for the sidecars is that a lot of them have got very little ground clearance. If they go too deep in one of those holes, you run the risk of it bottoming out, and of course the back wheel will just spin. Now I'm sure those of you that have been in Grasstrack for many, many years will know that quite often we see this happen, where the passenger jumps off and pushes it out of the rut. Now they'll all try and avoid that. Now I'm going to be interested to see whether any of them actually don't go in the ruts and go on the green grass, because if you go in a rut that turns out to be too deep, you lose out. Now the advantage of going in one of the pre-dug channels is you are on very solid ground. The risk of going on the green grass is that you will just get the back wheel spinning as soon as you drop the clutch. So if you're wondering why they take so long picking the gates, this is the reason. Tim Bennett eventually has made up his mind. He's going to go for one of the existing ruts that he hopes is not too deep. Gary Jackson, interestingly enough, has gone for gate 2. Now we've seen some very good starts from the inside. Ivor Matthews alongside Gary Jackson. On the inside of them, Colin Blackbourn. Last to get choice of gate is John Hiscock. Now that means he's got this outside gate. Now what we did see earlier on this afternoon is some very, very good starts from these outside gates. So this promises to be a very interesting first turn, because I suspect that Tim Bennett and John Hiscock will go for the wide angle on that first turn and hopefully be able to stay on the outside of any trouble that occurs on the inside of them. So away we go then with the first of the semi-finals. Nothing between any of them as they go into that first turn. I think Ivor Matthews has made the best of it though. He's got in front, Colin Blackbourn has gone with him. Locks it all up in the entrance to the bend, tries to slow it all down. Colin Blackbourn has stayed on the inside, Gary Jackson on the outside. Tim Bennett now up into 4th place, and Colin Blackbourn has gone through. Colin Blackbourn and Carl Blythe have got to the front as Ivor Matthews and as they come out of that bottom turn. So Gary Jackson now realises he's closing up on Ivor Matthews, but this is just for 2nd place as Colin Blackbourn is leading the semi. Colin Blackbourn it is, the lead's coming down past us. Gary Jackson goes through on the inside, no he doesn't. Ivor Matthews shuts the door going into that bottom bend. So they all start to sort themselves out. Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall in 2nd place. Tim Bennett now trying to get round the outside of Gary Jackson. Gary Jackson must know that he's there. Ivor Matthews goes through in 2nd place. One more lap to go then in this, the first of the semi-finals, as they go around that bottom bend. It is Colin as Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall are going to contend with 2nd place. Gary Jackson sitting in 3rd, Tim Bennett in 4th, and that's how they're going to finish as they come to the line. It's going to be close for 2nd, but what a tremendous ride from Colin Blackbourn and Carl Blythe. indeed as the sidecars make their way back to the pits. Tremendous semi-final for Colin, Blackbourn and Carl Blythe. I bet they wish they'd done that a bit earlier on this afternoon. Well, if we could ask for, I think your name is Nobby, could you answer the phone down there in the pits? Nobby, if you could answer the phone, please. Right, race 31, the official result, a win for outfit number 25, so maximum 7 points to Colin, Blackbourn and Carl Blythe. That's outfit number 25, and in second place, number 15, that's Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall. They get 5 points for that second place. In third place, number 23, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. In fourth place, number 12, Tim Bennett, Steve Hargreaves. In fifth place, number 184, John Hiscock, Jason Gill. In sixth place, number 3, Alan and John Blewitt. The winning time was 138.62, 138.62. So that's the first semi-final. While we've got the outfits coming to the line for the second semi-final, let me give you the qualifiers for the big Masters Solo Final. This is, if you turn over the page, race 33, sponsored by New Track Development. The Masters Solo Final for 1999 will be contested by number 1, Kelvin Tatum on 50 points. Number 17, Joe Screen on 46 points. Number 3, Steve Schofield on 46 points. Number 86, Paul Hurry on 44 points. Number 66, he got into the final, Scott Nicholls on 40 points. Number 12, Trevor Banks on 34. Number 6, Jeremy Doncaster on 30. Number 8, Vince Kinchin on 30. The reserve is John Underwood, number 77 on 29 points. That's the solo final. Don't worry if you missed any of those, I will give them to you again, but we've already got the second semi-final for the sidecars on the start line. Race 32 in your programme, sponsored by Abingdon Beds, and the competition between number 13, John Halsey, Jason Glennie on 25 points. Number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles on 24 points. Number 11, Kenny Hammill and John Richards on 15 points. Number 148, Rob and Chris Winterburn on 15 points. Number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley on 12 points. And it is indeed, we were expecting that we gave out the qualifying place of Duncan Tolhurst and Colin Hill, but they were involved in that accident in race 28. So their place is taken by the reserve, number 62, Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby on 11 points. So they've all sat there in the pit box. They've watched what's happened with the first semi-final. They know that points have been dropped. So what can they do in this second semi? Oh, it promises to be an interesting one as the tapes look to go. Oh, quickly the start marshals hold the tape down. It wasn't just one outfit there. I think there was 2 or 3 that had tried to anticipate the start. Oh, they're again holding them on the start line. They're not happy. Oh, again they're holding them. Rob Wilson very disappointed, looking away when the tapes went, but Kenny Hammill has made another flyer. Kenny Hammill has got to the front as they go into that first turn. They're all sorting themselves out behind them. Rob Winterburn is in third, and Rob Winterburn is trying to go through on the inside of John Halsey. So Rob Winterburn it is, and locks it up on the inside. John Halsey in fact loses her second place. Rob Winterburn cuts across in front of him. John Halsey will again try and attack him, but it's Kenny Hammill and John Richards that have got the lead. Kenny Hammill and John Richards, who we saw have that fantastic lead in their fourth going up the back straight. Rob Winterburn's not out of the game yet either. Rob Wilson is in fourth place and closing on Rob Winterburn. Richard Thomas is in there as well, but at the moment it's Kenny Hammill and John Richards that have got away. John Halsey and Jason Glennie in second place. We said this sidecar competition would be tight. It really is between anyone of them. And Rob Wilson has now started to close up on John Halsey. So it could get close as we come towards the checker flag. They've got one more lap to go. John Halsey and Jason Glennie go for the outside. Oh, they're looking for a wide line into that bottom bend. They've closed right up on Kenny Hammill this time. It's all very, very close on that bottom turn. taken the gamble of going wide on that top turn. He's got to come in tight on the close of this bend, but Kenny Hamill's done enough. Kenny Hammill is going to get to the line and get the win. Kenny Hammill gets it. John Halsey and Jason Glennie get second. Rob Wilson and Tony Miles get third. So yet another spanner been put in the works as the points remain very, very close indeed. Interesting semi-final. Once again, we get a victory in the semi-final, perhaps a little bit unexpected, but you shouldn't take it away from the crew of Kenny Hammill and John Richards. They went brilliant in their last heat. They've won the second semi-final, sponsored by Abingdon Beds. Number 11 it is that goes in first place. In second place, number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. In third place, number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. In fourth place, number 148, Rob and Chris Winterburn. In fifth place, number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. In sixth place, number 62, that's Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby. The winning time, very quick indeed, 137.37, 137.37, 11, 13, 24, 148, 60 and 62. It's going to be a very, very interesting final. Number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie, they come to the final on 30 points. Number 23, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh on 30 points. Number 15, Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall on 29 points. Number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles on 28 points. Number 11, Kenny Hammill and John Richards on 22 points. And number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves also on 22 points. What a final that promises to be. Earlier on today, when I was talking to the riders, we talked about what the pros and cons are of a one-day final. This final, it's the top point scorer over the whole of the event. So Joe Screen is 4 points down on Kelvin Tatum. He's on 46 points, as equally is Steve Schofield. They're both on 46 points. Paul Hurry on 44 points, knows he's got to get a win. And then it's just a question of permutations of where other riders finish. Well, we've seen Scott Nicholls going brilliantly this afternoon. Can he take the win? He certainly couldn't take the Masters even with a win, but he could certainly help somebody else. Tatum has made a good start. Joe Screen is with him. Scott Nicholls is with him as well, but it is Kelvin Tatum that's got to the front. Scott Nicholls round the outside, tries to go the wide line around that first bend. To win this final, he knows he doesn't necessarily have to win the final, but as he comes up past us, there's no better style on race circuits than going out there and winning the final, whatever the point situation is. It all closes up as Scott Nicholls attacks him down that far side. And it is Scott Nicholls had to hit problems in that semi-final, but Scott Nicholls out in front at the moment. Kelvin Tatum must now be thinking, am I safe enough in second place? By my reckoning, he is safe enough in second place if he doesn't allow Joe Screen to get look at the start of Scott Nicholls. He's ridden tremendously this afternoon. What a great shame that he had those mechanical problems in his semi-final, but that's what racing's all about with mechanical machinery. Joe Screen goes after Kelvin Tatum. The final is going to be won by young Scott Nicholls. Great to see him on the track. Kelvin Tatum takes second place, Joe Screen in third place, Paul Hurry in fourth. And while I wait for official confirmation, I think that my rough arithmetic means that Kelvin Tatum has done enough. I'm sure they're going to come around and receive your congratulations. It's confirmed to my left that the new 1999 British Masters champion is number one in the world, Kelvin Tatum. let you enjoy Kelvin Tatum for a few moments. It is the name of Kelvin Tatum that goes on the trophy. The very first time we have seen a result in a one-day final, Kelvin Tatum is the 1999 British Masters champion. For those of you that keep your programmes 100%, let's give you the official result of the final. Remember, this was the official result of the final. It was won by number 66, Scott Nicholls. In second place was number 1, Kelvin Tatum. In third, number 17, Joe Screen. In fourth, number 86, Paul Hurry. In fifth, number 3, Steve Schofield. In sixth, number 12, Trevor Banks. In seventh, number 6, Jeremy Doncaster. And in eighth, number 8, Victor Kitchen. 7 for a win, 5 for second. It then goes 4, 3, 2, 1. It means there's a 2-point advantage for winning the final. Now, I mentioned to you that John Halsey and Garrett Jackson are on 30 points. Ivor Matthews is on 29. So if he wins it, no matter who is second, he will be British Masters champion. Now, if any one of the others wins it, it's a case of only 1-point difference. Because if Ivor finishes in second and somebody like Kenny Hammill or Jim Bennett wins the final, they can't win it overall, because even with the 7 points they can't get the win. But then it will be a permutation of other riders further down the field, depending on who might win or not. Well, it will be decided now as they start to get themselves settled down on the start line. Interestingly, perhaps, Gary Jackson has gone for an inside gate. John Halsey next to him. Tim Bennett is right on the inside. Up go the tapes and we get underway with the final of the 1999 British Masters Sidecar final, and John Halsey has got himself to the front. John Halsey is in front as they go round that first turn. The rest miles in second. That top bend, and they come down past us at the end of the first lap. Gary Jackson and Cole Pugh have got up in the second. Ivor Matthews is up there in fourth place at the moment, pushing Gary Jackson all the way, and Gary Jackson has got very John Halsey's gone very, very wide, and Gary Jackson has noticed that he's coming through on the inside, but John Halsey comes back at him. Now, it was in this bottom turn that Gary Jackson got closer last time. Rob Wilson is out of contention either as they get close in that bottom turn. Rob Wilson has seen a gap. Rob Wilson has come through on the inside of Gary Jackson, got up in the second, has he? He has indeed got up in the second. Rob Wilson gets up in the second. And indeed, as he goes around that bottom bend, Rob Wilson is up in the second place. It all up in second place. Gary Jackson is sitting in third as they go across the line. It's John Halsey and Jason Glen that have got it. Rob Wilson and Tony Miles in second. It means that we have got a British Masters champion in 1999. John Halsey and Jason Glen. This is what they wanted. They won many, many meetings already this year, but this was the big one. Nobody enjoyed the controversy that followed the 1997 meeting. They've settled it out on the track this afternoon. The new champions are John Halsey and Jason Glen. Well, whilst we do indeed know who has won the British Masters. You can see two very, very, very pleased guys on that machine, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. I'm sure they'll be coming round to receive your congratulations, but I think you'll agree that we have seen some fantastic racing here this afternoon. We've got a count-back situation to decide who it is that gets second overall, but they're telling me that that's all being sorted now, so I'll let you know that in a few moments. But as they make their way round, I can now confirm as they make their way around the circuit that the 1, 2, 3 for 1999, as you all now know, it's a champion in the hands of John Halsey and Jason Glennie. Second to them overall is number 23, Gary Jackson and Colin. And in third place, after a terrific second in that final, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. So as they come round, let me give you the official result of the final. Remember, the final, for those of you that keep your programmes 100%, was won by number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie, in a winning time of 1:36.52. 1:36.52. In second place, number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. In third place, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. In fourth place, number 15 is Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall. In fifth place, number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. And in sixth place, number 11, Kenny Hammill and John Richards. Now I'm supposedly trained at this sort of thing, so I can actually just ignore it and get on with it. Now one thing I've got to try and say to you is, I did mention that Kenny Kay is here televising this event. Now I think you'll agree we've seen some fantastic racing. Bob's here doing the videos. If you missed any of it, then you can buy a video from him. I'm sure he won't mind. Excellent quality as always. But if you're looking on Sky, Friday nights, a programme called Motor Plus, I think that from what the man's just told me, we're going to get a lot of coverage. I think we're going to show the world what sort of an exciting event this is. I think you'll agree with me that the racing this afternoon has been absolutely fantastic. The silverware, slightly secondary, but it's going to take pride of place in anybody's home because that's taken some winning this afternoon. I think you'll agree with me. I think the first thing I'd like to say is some very big congratulations to the North Berks Club, hosting the ACU one-day British Masters final for the very first time, hosting it brilliantly. So if I could ask you for a very big round of applause for the North Berks presentation this afternoon. Right, well obviously the first thing I need to do is call somebody up here to present the awards. Now you've seen us earlier on make some presentations to one very, very special man in this sport. He will be disappearing off to Australia. I hope he's around here somewhere, not hiding in the beer tent or something like that. If I could call for Mr. Simon Wigg, can you come and join us for one last time? The simple answer to that is no, we can't. Because nobody knows where he is. Oh, looks like it's down to you, Pat. Here at ACU Stewart this afternoon, he sits as chairman of the Grasstrack committee. Our thanks to present the awards this afternoon, Mr. Tony Knoll. So we'll start as we did with the big finals this afternoon with the solo competition, and first of all I'd like to bring up here one competitor that certainly looked as if he... Steady on, John, steady on.
Ready for laughs again, Johnny.
There's not many people fall at my feet. Right, third place then in the solo competition and finishing third overall. I've got to say, very disappointing he had those mechanical problems in the semi-final. Great ride in the final. It is, of course, Scott Nicholls.
Alright, Scotty.
That's it, don't forget the bubbly.
Over there. Scotty.
They want him, oh, he's getting me going, look.
No, mate.
Right, the question I've got to ask you, Scott, I'm sure that everybody wants to know, what on earth happened in that semi?
You have 2 earth-strap wires on my coil and law, or sod's law should I say, both of them snapped. You know, you put 2 on so they don't and they both broke, so you just didn't have any power going to the motor.
Very disappointing obviously in that semi, but I must admit the way you've ridden today, it looked like it could have been yours.
Yeah, I was really pleased with how I was going, the bike was going really good and you know, things were going good for me today. I just felt pretty good, but just, you know, sometimes luck's not on your side and it just so happened it wasn't, but you know, Kelvin and the other boys all rode well, so you can't take away from them either.
And the burning question I've got to ask you, back here to try and get it again next year?
Oh, I'll be having a go, yeah.
Well, that's good news. In third place this afternoon, Schofield. Right, we move on up the roster. We move up to second place, and it's great to see this guy back out on the grass track. He said to me this morning when I spoke to him in the pits that he hasn't seen the bikes too much this year. He hasn't been out on the grass track too much. But we know he can ride like he always did. Of course it is in second place, Jason! Don't forget the bottle. No, Scott, you can't have another one, that's Joe's. Gonna make you do the same thing, Joe, if I could. You could turn around and face the cameras, otherwise I'll get into trouble. Oh, there's pictures first. Well, terrific riding, Joe. I mean, I think you'll agree the track was in fantastic condition and a great performance.
Yeah, it was very good, you know, I'm a little bit disappointed, but I don't think as much as Scott there. But, you know, I've enjoyed myself, and I'd like to thank Martin Hagan for supplying the bikes today, and I hope I could have done better for him.
Well, indeed, second place is no mean feat at all. It was a tremendous amount of racing this afternoon, and indeed, you're always there and thereabouts. But I'm going to ask you the same question as I asked Scott. Back to defend it again next year?
So, yeah.
Hope so, yeah, that's 2 we've got for next year anyway. Right, it means you move on in second place then this afternoon, Halsey! But when we started this afternoon, I mentioned to you there was one rider that I do feel deserves to have the #1 plate on his bike. He's #1 in the world because the World Long Track Championships hasn't finished yet. He's now our 1999 British Masters champion. It is, of course, our very own Kelvin Tatum!
Pop that over your head. Well done.
No, he's smaller than that, Kelvin.
Tony?
There's lots more, he needs lots of hands.
There's lots more.
The very important bottle. And of course, Kelvin, if I could ask you just to turn around and face the cameras, look, I know we've got the crowd out here as well, so we'll try and get an angle shot. But when I spoke to you this morning, you said really the track was in good condition, bike's in good condition. A bit worried about the gearing you went out in first practice, but obviously it's all worked out.
Yes, I had a bit of luck obviously during the day with Scott stopping, and that was tough for him. But I battled all day. I really wasn't completely happy with the setup we had today, but I had some really exciting races through the day. The track and the whole organisation today has been fantastic, first class. It's a credit to the club, to be honest. It's a real good showpiece and worthy of a British Championship. But and I had a bit of luck, but I'm British champion and I grafted all day. Like last weekend at Berks helped, and I had some bad luck, so it was my turn this weekend.
Indeed your turn, indeed. I think everybody here will agree with me that you deserve to be #1. The champion for 1999, Kelvin Tatum. So before they disappear, why don't we give them just one more big round of applause. The 1, 2, 3 for the 1999 is Scott Nicholls, Joe Sweden and Kelvin Tatum. Well done indeed, guys. So, You've now seen who are the 1, 2, 3 in the solo competition. We associate 1000cc Grasstrack sidecar racing with the UK. We know we've got the best drivers, the best passengers in the world, and what a spectacle it makes. I think you agree that all afternoon I've been saying that you couldn't decide really who was going to win it. Everybody was tight, everybody was close. What about those semi-finals? 2 out of the blue winners. Nobody, I don't think, would have predicted those winners of the semis. We got to a terrific final, but the overall result, when all the points have been added up, means that in 3rd place we've got Robert and Tony Miles. Now you'd have thought after all that build-up, they would have at least been ready, wouldn't they? Oh, there they are.
Cheers, mate. Congratulations. Cheers, mate.
Great day, school.
Yeah, that was. Cheers, mate. Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Oh yeah, we got something for you. No, you got to wait till he gets up here. I'll call him up in a minute, alright?
Don't worry. Cheers. Oh, boy. Cheers. Picture with those hats on.
And I'm not getting into that discussion, Jason, about whose dad it really is and all the rest of it.
Cheers.
Right, the photograph's taken, the bit I know that everybody dreads. A quick word, Rob. Terrific days racing.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good at the Berks, mainly because obviously the presentation of the track, etc., it's always an excellent day, you know, it's good for everybody. We say it again, the only problem is everybody goes well, so that's how it is.
Well, it is how it is, but I think you'll agree that that's been one spectacle today, hasn't it, really, that even up to those finishing levels, you know, we didn't know who was going to win it, everybody was in with a shout.
Yeah, I mean, that's right, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably not so good for us, the competitors, but I mean, obviously spectators, they want to see some real close racing, and I think that's what they got today, to be honest with you.
Well, he did get it today, and indeed, I hope we're going to see you back. I'm not going to disappear for this. I know the rules of this, man. A quick passenger's perspective on things. Tough out there for passengers today?
Very tough. They have to work a lot harder than what the drivers do anyway.
I don't think I should continue this conversation, should I really? But pleased with 3rd place?
Yeah, we could have won it. We could have come third. We could have come last. So much tough competition out there now. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable. Share that, Tony. The 3rd place this afternoon, Robert and Tony Miles. Hang on. Yeah, you can stay up, Rob, because we've got another 2 to get up here, yeah? Finishing in 2nd place, dare I mention, 1997, all the controversy, whatever. It didn't matter today because it was a fantastic race surface, and we knew it was going to be sorted. They finished in 2nd place, but I'm sure they're going to be back to fight another day. It is, of course, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh.
Well, I'm bored. Well, mate.
Sit, don't forget the champagne.
One of those without a label for the passenger, you always get the sticky end, don't you? I'm sure
Gary?
Jim will
Now you need to turn around for the photographs first.
Right, Gary, do that.
Put it around the right way.
Right, well, we're over there, Gary. Obviously, got to have a quick word. I've mentioned already to Rob that the track is in brilliant condition, racing absolutely first class. A lot of pressure though this afternoon.
Yeah, there was a lot of pressure, the track rode well, and it's been some really good competition there today.
Well, there has been good competition, and I think it surprised everybody really that we did get a few surprise packages in there, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, it was all off the gate really. The start was so important.
So important on the game, but obviously, how do you feel about, obviously we've seen for the first time here, on-track starting? Did that have a big influence on that first bend?
Maybe. It came up a lot sooner than it normally does, so...
That's a pretty good start.
Yeah, very good, Gary.
I don't know how to pursue this, right? done, did I really? Right, let's go a quick word with Cole, shall we? Because Cole, obviously not been with Gary for too many seasons, but some tremendous races today.
Oh yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's just great. I mean, I grew up watching John Halsey and Gary, like, watching them, you know, and then suddenly racing them was absolutely brilliant.
I think they missed that one, didn't they? You grew up watching them. I think we'll leave it there. In second place then, Gary Jackson and Kelvin. Well, of course, no matter how much we talk about the format of any competition, there is at the end of the day only one winner. And when I call them up here, I'm sure they're going to get a very big round of applause because they worked very, very hard. They've taken a lot of trophies already this season, but this was the one they wanted. They wanted their names to go in the history book as being British Masters champion. They fought hard for it. There was a few dodgy moments during the day, but they've got there in the end. It is, of course, John Halsey and Jason Glen.
Well, congratulations, mate. You're rather super lovely day. Oh, Jason, would it go for both of you? Really? Oh, wait, why not? Congratulations, mate. That was super nice.
Right. Trophies.
Thank you very much. Money, I think. A check. Thank you.
And if we could ask you just to turn around for the cameras so you get the photographs from that way.
What we got? Try hard to go. Turn around and have a bottle.
They want the bottle. They do want the bottle. I know Jason will want the bottle. Right, John. If I can ask you to turn around so that you can see you on the cameras there. What can I say? A tough day. A lot of pressure from where you were in the pits. A lot of hard riding. Those first few races, absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, like you say, the competition out there today was brilliant. To go out there and have that first ride that we had, I think that's the best Jason himself has ever rode. But to continue it through and to actually win it now after the last couple of years, such a relief, and I just feel absolutely brilliant, to be honest with you.
Well, I don't blame you, John, because obviously I think everybody appreciates that every week is very hard racing. Everybody's getting as good as one another now. We can't predict it at the beginning of the day. We know it's going to be hard. When the track's as good as this, though, it makes for brilliant racing, doesn't it?
Oh, like the spectators, hopefully they're going to go home, you know, happy because the racing from that point of view was good. So hopefully the spectators' point of view was good. But to Robbie and Gary and the rest of the lads, I mean, that final was, it come down to virtually sudden death. It was, the points were so even that you had to make the gate, and luckily we did, and we did it. So brilliant.
You did indeed do it. The winners this afternoon, the 1999 champion, Tolhurst and Jason Glen. I think you'll agree with me that we have seen a fantastic meeting here this afternoon. Tony, I think while we're getting the last sort of pictures taken, from your position as chairman of the ACU, a few words.
Jim, we've had a fantastic day's racing, haven't we? And I'm sure you all agree, it's tremendous day's racing. My congratulations on behalf of the ACU Track Racing Committee to the North Barracks. They've done it again. They put on a tremendous Grasstrack for us. My congratulations to the successful competitors, our commiserations to those across in the paddock who rode equally hard but didn't quite get up here at the end of the day. We meet again next year. We'll meet again in Kent because the Astra Club have been invited to run the Masters. I think it's the 6th of September next year. My thanks again to the North Barracks. They really have his job down there. The last to smile on his face. He looked so worried all day. John, Ivor, all the North Barracks, my congratulations. Thank you so much for giving us such a great day's sport. Let's hear it once again for North Barracks. And thank you, Jim.
Well, I think I now can say at long last That is it. I hope you enjoyed the one-day British Masters here at North Barracks. If you haven't, I think there might be something wrong with you. But we hope to see you again at a Grasstrack very, very soon. There's no need to rush off. I'm sure the guys will all be going over there for a celebration drink. They're not coming to join us. Have a very safe journey home. As the tapes go up for the very first time this afternoon, we get underway with the 1999 British Masters. Fry on the inside has made a better one. Nicholls looks to make a challenge.
It's just one time of the year where we all get together and have a big old tussle about it, and it's today.
John Halsey knows it as well. Will Ivor Matthews go for the outside again? John Halsey's got through. John Halsey goes through into second place. He's now going to try and hold down. They've got their nose in front now as they come round that corner. Tries to find a way through. Remember this second place now as Tolhurst starts to get away. They get underway and it is Kelvin Tatum that's made the start, but Joe Screen's on the inside. The two of them together as they go round that first turn. Kelvin Tatum just with a wheel in front as they come off the turn, but Joe Screen's not there. Now, Colin Blackbourn has got there in second. Saves to go, away they go. Gary Jackson's made a terrific start. Now Joe Screen gets his nose in front as they go into that first turn, but Matt Reed, the youngster, is there with him, and Matt Reed makes it count. Going to get this second, it's very, very close. And away we go, problems for John Jeffries on the line. He's certainly going pretty, puts it down in that bottom bend. Oh, Paul Hurry comes back at him, but Kelvin Tatum again goes for the inside. Great scrap between these two as Paul Hurry comes back at him on the inside. Oh, terrific race between these two. Scott Nicholls again is going to the outside, and Scott Nicholls is all the way around the outside. Tremendous top turn from Scott. So it's Alan and John Blewitt that got into the first turn, but John Halsey on the inside, Trevor Banks on the outside, and Trevor Banks it's Scott Nicholls on the outside that will have made it to the front. Closes up as Scott Nicholls attacks him down that far side. That the new 1999 British Masters champion is number one in the world, Kelvin Tatum. Jackson all the way, and Gary Jackson has got very well. It's John Halsey and Jason Glen that have got it. The 1999 Kelvin Tatum.
We did it. Sounds brilliant.
You did it. The winners this afternoon, the 1999